Hello, I'm John Wiley. I'm the author of Build Character, Shape Lives. And before I really get into that, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about me. I taught slow learners and discipline problems in Waukesha, Wisconsin from 1964 through 1968. I've had two alternative high schools for kids that are in trouble. One was on a farm in Reedsville, Wisconsin, and that was a 24/7 farm. And I had a daycare set up in Watoma, Wisconsin, with some other people. I've done things for kids. It used to be that in this area that when parents were arrested and the kids were left home without any adults, the police would bring the kids into the jail and have them stay with the parents. And I got really angry about that, and I built a receiving home and changed the way that was done in this area. And we held those kids for up to 8 weeks, where they could adjust and then go back into their home setting if the parents were released, or get to grandparents or other relatives, or at last resort foster care. But there's a lot of things that I've done with kids. I was one of the founders of the Boys and Girls Club here, and chairman of the reorganization committee for one of the high schools. I've done a lot of things outside of just being an entrepreneur, but I've been in business and have helped to take companies public, and otherwise just struggled in business like everybody else did on various projects. But the book is really kind of a culmination of a lot of my lifetime experiences. One of the things I noticed I had in one of the companies I owned, I noticed that there were two sides to what was going on. We had in this business the straight side and the curve side. And the straight side thought they were pretty smart, and these guys over here on the curve side thought they were pretty smart, but they weren't working together. And so what I did is I had them write down an assessment of themselves, and I gave them some keywords to evaluate, and then I assessed them on those same things. And then we sat down and we had kind of a conversation about those things. And I found that almost invariably the employers and the employees were much less confident of themselves than I was. I thought they were good workers, and I thought they were doing a good job. They thought they had weaknesses and needed to work harder, and they weren't doing as good as they could, and all kinds of things. And so what I did in there is I built the kids up, and that was really a big lesson for my book. What I do in the book is I really do four things. I constructed 4 values growth charts, one for first through third grade, one for fourth through sixth, one for middle school, and one for high school. And they had 20, 30, 40, and 50 values, and 50 values in high school. And I have the kids take this values growth chart, fill it out 3 times a year. How am I doing? Am I doing this always, or often, or seldom, or never? And for example, am I fair? As one of the values. Am I fair always, or am I fair never? That sort of thing. Then I have 2 trusted adults fill out the chart for the child. One trusted adult from inside the school, and one trusted adult from outside the school, and preferably their parents. But not always, unfortunately. They can't always be parents, and sometimes we're going to have to go and find somebody that this kid can trust, maybe at the Boys and Girls Club or some other youth organization or organization in town that can provide mentors. But we need the child needs 2 adults that they can trust. And in doing this, we don't have to have psychiatrists and psychologists. We have 2 trusted adults, 2 adults that the child trusts. So we don't need all this fancy stuff. We can just do it that way. So we fill out these values growth charts, and we have a a calm discussion with the child, discussing the strengths and weaknesses, the successes and the failures that the child feels are upon him by the kids in the school, and how he feels towards himself. Then what I've done is I established a homeroom that's also different. The homeroom teacher corresponds with the grade separation. So I've got a homeroom where kids come into the school in the morning, and they're in this homeroom for 20 minutes, and it helps them adjust from home to the school environment. And because they're in a homeroom with the same people, the same teacher and the homeroom teacher, and the same kids for 3 years, and obviously you rotate up each year so that you're the first year teacher or first year student 1 year, and and you're the big guy, in the third year. And in doing that, what we do is we teach peer mentoring, and we turn over the behavior and the values to the kids, to have them do the work, not the teacher disciplining, but the children working together, working through their problems together, and learning together to be the kind of adults that we'd like them to be. In addition to that, I have in the homeroom every day a student-led discussion of one of the values in their chart each day, and that's repeated each day all through the year, so that pretty much all kids get to discuss 2 or 3 or more of the values. So what I'd like you to do is to read the book. One of the things that surprised me is that in this period of time, from the time that I printed the book to the time now that I'm distributing the book and you're receiving the book in the mail, I've spent that time working with some of the local high schools in this area. And I have 4 high schools engaged in various stages. None of them have implemented the full program yet because COVID is occupying almost every square minute of any day. But I think the 4 schools, some of them have purchased large numbers of books for teachers and other people. And others are already implementing parts of it just quite naturally in their school day. So I'm very surprised, before I really publish the book or distribute the book, to have 4 high schools engaged in this local area. And I think it's really worth your while to think about it, because what it should do is it should relieve pressure on teachers. It should increase or improve the character or the personality of the classrooms and the ability to get work done. I think it changes the culture and does it in a practical, inexpensive way. Thank you.
I think it's great.